Hey everyone, it's Grant Winsauer, and I am without my co-host right now because he is at a cotillion with his girlfriend or some sort of formal with his girlfriend. Um, but I was lucky enough to have my cousins lined up to come on and talk about some football with me, and kind of prepare for the draft, which is a little bit less than 2 weeks away. I can't believe that that's the truth. I mean, it feels like yesterday we were starting the NFL offseason, but we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna do a couple mock drafts for the Bears and Patriots, and then we're gonna also talk about how we have thought that the uh, uh, offseason has gone for both those respective teams, and give our 2 cents about the draft class and just some other stuff. So but before we get into that, how have you boys been? I haven't, I'm pretty bad at keeping in touch with you when it's not football related, so I haven't talked to you guys in a while. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Excited to get fantasy football back around and start talking more often around the sports and been doing good though. Living down in Savannah has
Yeah.
been
How
great,
about you,
and
Max?
know you've been doing good
Yeah,
up
I'm
in
doing good.
Illinois.
I just went down to Savannah last weekend for my bachelor party, so I've been having a really, really good month so far.
Oh, that's awesome. So let's get started with this. So the first topic that we're gonna talk about is how the off season has gone for both our respective teams, the Bears and the Patriots. So since I have talked plenty about how, in my personal opinion, the Bears have been the winner of the off season, I want your guys' opinion on how you think the Bears off season went with them locking up Ben Johnson to be their head coach and their ability to fix the offensive line and defensive line. Uh, so why don't we start with Max, and then I'll ask uh, Daniel the same question.
Yeah, I think they did really good this offseason. I think their biggest thing was get Ben Johnson. Like we talked about last year, I wanted Ben Johnson to be the Bears coach. I think his play calling with Caleb Williams is going to be making some special stuff happen. And really, all they need now is a tackle and a running mate for Swift, and those are both available in the draft. So I think by the end of the draft, they'll be fully rebuilt, ready to push for the playoffs for sure.
Daniel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think the success of any team starts at the top. Getting your guy is so important. And, I don't think Ben Johnson was coming to the Bears if he didn't believe the Bears are fully committed to doing what they needed to do to field the best team possible. Assistant coaches, staff, and the on field players, obviously. Like it clearly, the Bears convinced Ben Johnson that they're the spot to be, which I think is as exciting as getting the coach. And then all football starts in the trenches. They've really done a lot to get the offensive line better. I'm excited to see how the defensive line, those additions are going to do. Grady Jarrett,
Sure, sure.
being in Atlanta, we're Falcons fans to a degree too, and Grady Jarrett's had some awesome years. And the stats haven't been to the last few, but he's a veteran. He knows what to do, and at a minimum, he's going to help teach players how to play the game the
Yeah,
right
and I
way
mean,
and
in all
and work
fairness, I
hard,
mean,
which is
in
good.
my personal opinion, the two teams that got new head, or the out of the teams that got new head coaches, I do believe that the best teams, or the teams that improved the most, were the Bears and the Patriots, and that's not just to say because you're a Patriots fan and I'm a Bears fan. I genuinely believe that. I mean, you know, when they let go of Jared Mayo, or Gerard Mayo, I don't know which way it's said,
It's
but
Rod. You got it.
but but um but when they let go of Mayo, and Mike Vrabel was available, I knew the minute that Vrabel was available that he was like 95% going to be the choice for Robert Kraft. I mean, he likes to have former players be his head coach for some reason, I guess. Um, but yeah, I mean, but there are some things that they'll need to do to make sure that they're team is successful, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But I have to look at the script. So um, oh, actually, that's actually kind of what's next. Never mind. So the problem that I have with hiring Mike Vrabel, in my personal opinion, is the fact that you just got uh, Drake May to be your quarterback, and usually when you fire a coach and um, you have a rookie quarterback that's going into their second year, the best course of action is to hire a offensive minded coach so the offense can be successful. But this is not me saying that I don't think that Mike Vrabel will be unsuccessful with Drake May. It's just my thought process is the majority of the free agents that they did sign are on the defensive side of the ball, and when you have a rookie quarterback, the best course of action is to protect him and give him weapons. And yes, they did get Stephon Diggs and Morgan Moses and some other offensive tackles, but the offensive tackles are a little older, so I don't know how long they'll actually play. So, what are your thoughts on that, Max? And then I'll ask you, Daniel, too.
Yeah, I agree. I think Vrabel did a good job building the defense up. That's really what was available in the market. There weren't solid left tackles available, in my opinion. Like Cam Robinson is not a solid left tackle. Watching him play this year,
Mm-hmm.
so I think he got what he could get. And as far as the offense rebuilding, like I think Josh McDaniels joining is what's going to rebuild the offense. I think play
That will
calling is
help a
our
lot.
biggest issue.
I will admit
Yeah.
that will help a lot.
Yeah, so I think he's him and possibly Stephon Diggs if he comes back fully to Stephon Diggs level. I think that'll really amp it up. And then we locked up every offensive line position but left tackle, which is a problem. We didn't get a left tackle last year either, so I'm praying we draft one and don't have a right tackle playing left again. But I feel good about where we're at. I think our defense was a big issue last year, and that should be fixed.
Yeah, Daniel, do you have anything to comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a ton of the specifics around Patriots football. Max knows it, I think, as good as anyone in the world. But Vabril, he's a football guy. I love football guys at head coach. They get the culture in the clubhouse good. Like I saw a clip the other day where he's talking to the team and he's like, "Leave your freaking phones in your locker. Don't have your phones out here. We're not checking Twitter in between workout sets." And it's like everything starts at the top. It's all a culture thing. All these players in the NFL are so dang good. You're splitting hairs over how to make a team better. And I think they got a
I
great
will
coach
admit,
who's going to
I
get
saw
the guys
the thing
excited to play.
about the the first meeting that Vrabel had, and I have to say I do like that he set the rules where no phones in the locker room, no phones in the workout, all that stuff, because that is very distracting. The only thing that you need your phone for, in my personal opinion, when you're working out, is music. And majority of the time, any gym is always playing music over intercom, so you don't really need your headphones. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that's also your preference. Sometimes gyms don't play the music that you like to listen to, but that's the only reason that I would use my phone during a workout. But
Vrabel plays music in the whole building. I don't know if y'all have heard that.
I
He
don't
has
know.
control of the aux
I
for
don't.
the entire Patriots facility. There's always music playing since he started.
I I don't know that much about
Those
Mike
poor
Vrabel
guys.
besides the fact that he was a former Patriots player that played linebacker and occasionally came in at tight end and caught like 12 passing touchdowns or something, and then he transitioned to a coach and uh, and I think he's going to be successful. I mean, he does have a track record as a head coach, so that does help him a lot. Um, so um, okay. and thanks to talking to you guys beforehand, you did help me come up with a few good topics to talk about before coming on here. So let's get into that. You know so let's start out with the fact that both the Patriots and Bears need help at the tackle position, and there are a few good ones in this draft. There's like 10 left tackles or tackles that are coming into the draft, but I just named the top three, and the top three are Calvin Banks, Will Campbell, and Armand Membu. And in my personal opinion, I could see Will Campbell playing guard just because of his arm length, but sometimes that doesn't matter. But we'll see. I mean, um, of those three, I do think the two of them could be options for both our respective teams. Those two being Will Campbell and Membu. The Patriots might look at offensive line early, and Campbell is one of the best prospects in the draft, but it is really up to Vrabel on who he wants to draft. And I mean, I don't see the Bears or Campbell being there at 10 for the Bears. If he doesn't get picked by the Patriots, I think you could slot him in at pick 7 or 8 to protect Justin Fields or Bryce Young. Um, the and The Bears have said that they want to bring in competition for Braxton Jones, and Memboom could be the perfect guy to compete with Braxton. The only problem is Membu did play exclusively right tackle in college, and he had to transition over to left tackle. But it's been done before because I think Kyle Long did it when he was in college. He played either left tackle or right tackle, and transitioned to uh, one of one of those opposites before going into a guard. I'm not. I can't. Don't quote me on that. I'm not exactly brushed up on that as much as I should be, but I think that he did that. So I mean, what are your thoughts on the tackle prospects in this draft, Max? And then
Yeah, so I'm a big Campbell guy. I kind of ignore the arm length. He's been shutting down SEC edge rushers for years. So I think that's proof he could play against the NFL players. A lot of the best edge rushers come from the SEC. So that's like kind of just seeing it year after year that he's shutting people down is pretty big. His personality is perfect for football, perfect for the offensive line. He eats and breathes just beating people up in the football field. Um, which I think is cool. Like if the Patriots are picking at 4 and we're picking O line, I think he's the only option. Um, but I do like everyone you named, and then if either the Bears or Patriots don't go tackle first, I think in the second round, Ursery and Connerly, both of them are really good. We may have to trade up to the low 30s to get them, but I think they're like a good
actually,
plan B.
when we do that later, when we do the mock drafts later, I've actually seen uh, the third guy that you mentioned, not Connerly, but the other guy.
Ursery.
Yeah, I can't. The guy from Minnesota.
Hmm.
I can't pronounce his last name. But I've seen him last until like I think like 50 or 60. So that's still in the second round, but that's like late in the second round. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think that'll happen in real life, but
yeah, but also the thing that I have started to notice in when we get to the parts when we get to around this time when mock drafts are constantly coming out, I start to notice that there's always like a theme on where certain players go, like a week before the draft or a couple days before the draft. Now it doesn't always work out that way, but they have educated guesses, that
mhm.
I've seen. But Daniel, do you have anything to comment on the tackles in this draft? I mean,
No, I kind of agree. I think the Patriots being in the top five, Bears at 10. I don't know that there's anybody I love other than Will Campbell, who, to your point, might end up at a guard. An elite guard is an elite lineman. If he ends up being really good, even on the inside,
yeah,
it's a good problem to have. But
I'm
you got to
also the
figure out
guy
where he's the best.
that has started to because I talked about the arm length problem, you know, long before he was measured at the combine. Well, actually, probably around the combine, because that's when you get the arm measurements. But I mean, to Max's point, where he's shut down, the the competition that he's played at LSU. I mean, LSU is basically a NFL program at the college level. So you're playing NFL programs at the college level when you play at LSU or Alabama or Clemson or something like that. And oh, yep, and I
Hey,
gotta mention Georgia. Both of them are I
it's
but
okay. It slipped. I'll
I
cut you
have
some slack.
I hope that I mean I know that what's it Ben Johnson and Bears have their eye on a couple guys on the offensive line from Georgia, so I'm hoping.
Yeah, and I mean one thing I don't know what your guys' opinion on it'll be is I think if Will Campbell's not there at 10, I wouldn't take another lineman personally. I'm not really sold on Banks from Texas. I don't know the Minnesota guy, so maybe he's a great option
Josh
there.
Simmons.
But I like from Ohio State, Josh Simmons. I think he'd be great. I don't think you need to go at 10. I've looked at a few mock drafts. I don't think he goes that early. So if you're dead set on O lineman in the first round, I think you could trade back and get him. He's just a freak athlete. And, the Big Ten's the closest thing to the SEC for some elite defensive talent. And he looks pretty good. I think he'd be a good option.
I
If he slips to the
I
second, I
haven't
think it's a
seen
no-brainer. And if,
slip to the
maybe you
second.
trade
I've
back
seen
if
him
a line that you
slip to
really
like
need.
20 to 25.
So you could trade back and
Yeah.
It's
maybe
a
get a
good
second
Bears
round pick
option
out of it or something.
for
Yeah,
sure
but
because the
then,
Bears
If,
have
if you
tackles
were
on their
dead set
roster
on
too.
linemen.
So like because he's coming off an injury, he may not be ready right away. So like the Bears can start their current tackles. Um,
Hmm.
I've never considered him for the Patriots because we do not have a left tackle on the roster. So like we need someone to play the
and he's
first game.
also, I mean,
That's very
number
fair.
four is
Yeah.
way too high
Yeah.
for Josh Simmons. I mean, if
But even like later,
yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
even if you, the only like offensive lineman that is worth the fourth overall pick is probably Will Campbell. I mean,
yeah,
I shouldn't say probably is Will Campbell. It is Will Campbell. It's not probably. It is only Will
yeah,
Campbell. But I mean, those top four are going to all be good prospects. It's just, in my personal opinion, I think I might know the perfect spot for Calvin Banks, though, and I think that's the Dolphins with Teron Armstead just retiring a couple like last week, so they'll have a hole at left tackle. So now I'm not saying that Calvin Banks is going to live up to the the uh, the career of Teron Armstead, but probably it'd be wise for the Dolphins to get a clear replacement for him.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't
Hopefully
know.
it pans out. I'm definitely no O
Yeah, we don't
lineman
know,
whisperer.
and
I just am
we won't
not
know
sold on him.
until 2 weeks from now what happens. Um, but that's the thing
Hmm.
that's the thing about this draft. Like, last year it seemed like we knew probably the top eight draft picks, like a week before the draft, I would say. I mean, I did not expect Michael Penix to go number 8. I don't think anyone did. But that gave us the ability to draft Roma Dunze, so I'll take that for the Bears. But that's last year. We got to focus on this year. So the next topic that we talked about, or that came up in our talks before coming on here was our favorite players coming out of this draft. And for me, it comes down to four players, and those four are Will Campbell, Tyler Booker, uh, Princely. Oh my God, I'm gonna butcher this last name. Ooh, Mon. Oh my God, I can't. Ooh, Mon.
Give it your best
Milan.
shot.
I don't know if I said. I probably pronounced that wrong. But when the Bears signed Deo Adeyingbo, I had to look at his name a couple times before I pronounced his name correctly. And then after that, it's and then the last player on my list is Ashton Genty. Half of those players are offensive line, and there's a complete possibility that neither of them are available at 10 or 39. But I think it would be wise to draft a guard early because Joe Tooney is on the last year of his contract, and he is 33 years old. So he might be a one and done like we did with Keenan Allen. I'm not like ruling out a Joe Tooney extension. I just, I think it would uh, just be a good idea to have a guy that, Tooney could teach for a year, and if he thinks that he taught the kid well enough and is gonna either move on or retire, I think it'd be wise to get a guy like Booker or um, uh, um, maybe like Gray Zabel if he's available in the second, which I haven't seen him be available in the second for a while. But with Princely, I know that we signed Deo Adeyingbo, but you can never have too many edge rushers or offensive linemen. Uh, and then and that goes with Will Campbell as well. And then Ashton Genty is the best running back prospect in this draft, and he was the college version of Saquon Barkley. But I have two concerns with him. My first concern is that Genty won't be available at pick 10 for the Bears. I think he goes to number 6 to the Raiders, and Pete Carroll gets another version of Marshawn Lynch in the Raiders backfield. My other concern is the fact that Genty went to Boise State, and I don't know how great the competition is that they play against at Boise State. So, how much of that will translate to the NFL? So those are my top four players. But what are your guys' top four players? I'll start with Daniel. Uh, Daniel, why don't you give your top four players if you have enough?
Yeah. No, so I mean, in my top four is going to be more just based on my favorite prospects, not necessarily that they fit for certain teams. But um, I think that Tyler Warren is incredible. I think tight ends are becoming game changers. The dude's a difference maker. He catches everything and he figures out how to get open. He's so fun to watch. And I mean, looking at what being a Georgia guy, Brock Bowers was special. He transcended our offense. He made us significantly better, and tight ends don't always do that. And he went to the Raiders and broke records as a rookie. So, it translates that position, which I think is one benefit to going tight end earlier than some other ones. And you don't have to go pay them as much as you pay wide receivers, even though they might have just a similar impact on the team and the success. Another one I really like is Alshon Genty. I mean, I think he's a freak. I like the little running backs too. This the low center of gravity. It seems like they truck people they shouldn't, and it's fun to watch them. And he's a pretty good out of the backfield and blocks good for how small he is. That's always going to be a worry at running back. I think another one that I
Yeah,
really like is Mason Graham, the defensive lineman from Michigan. That dude, every game I watched, it felt like he was just
yeah.
blowing the
Apparently
lineup.
he's very
It was
high
crazy.
on the Bears draft board, but I mean, I just well,
I don't
I
think
don't
he
think
gets to
he gets to
10.
10 either. But I mean, if he's
Maybe, but
available at 5, which I I have a pretty big hunch that he will be. If he's available at 5, you could call the Jaguars and see what they want to 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 you know to move back to 10. But I just don't know. I don't know if 5 picks is warranted for a first round draft pick next year, and I don't necessarily think that Ben Johnson is going to want to give up too many high quality draft picks. With his with it being only his second year as head coach next year, and there could be a high quality player at their draft position next year. Although, if if our season goes as well as us Bears fans hope, I mean, their first round draft pick could be, around 20, which is not as valuable as, 10 to, earlier than that. So, but that's in the future. I don't know.
mhm.
I'm just commenting on that. So, uh, um,
No, super fair. Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do I have? One more player. I think Abdul Carter's a freak. What he did going through like the late in the
Mhm.
season, I think what he had a torn pec or some sort of, I don't remember what his injury was, something that sounds painful and would be debilitating to an average person, and he had the best games of his life. Clearly he shines when the lights are on, and that's a special trait to have. There's lots of good guys out there. They don't all get better when the lights shine brighter, and he's definitely one of them. And I mean, that position for the
Oh God, he's
Bears, like
gone.
I think Abdul Carter's
He's
gone if you don't
probably
trade up, and
gone.
I agree with you,
I mean,
Brandon.
I don't necessarily want this because I don't, because it sounds scary, but I think there's a really big possibility that uh, Abdul Carter goes to the Browns and gets paired up with Miles Garrett, and that is just if that is
That'd
the
be
outcome
scary.
on draft night, that is going to be a lethal combo. That's a huge combo. But there's also a possibility of them going quarterback because they did the owner did say that they made a mistake with Deshaun Watson, and I'm pretty sure everyone knew that they made a mistake with Deshaun Watson the minute that they traded for him because they immediately gave him a fully guaranteed contract, which they've had to reduce his cap hit every year, and it's still like $76 million or some crazy amount of money.
Which is crazy.
Ugh. And I mean, Deshaun Watson on the Texans was good, but when you get traded to the Browns, a lot of the time you go to a crapshoot there for quarterbacks. Um, but um, but Max, who are your favorite players in this draft?
Yes, y'all already said two of them. Abdul Carter, I'm praying he falls to 4 because if he gets coached by Mike Vrabel, it's over for anybody who's trying to block him.
Oh,
So
we'll
I've watched
see. There's a
all his highlights.
possibility that the mock draft might have him go last until 4. No,
Yeah,
I
if
wouldn't
he's
think
there,
on it,
we're
but
getting him. Yeah, so he's definitely up there. Janty, however you say it.
yeah.
Love him. He's a beast. For all the reasons y'all said, so I don't want to repeat it all. But then I have two others. So Travis Hunter, I'm surprised he wasn't said, but it's okay.
Well,
In my
I
opinion,
mean, I was naming players that are highly more likely to be picked by uh,
oh, Bears.
Bears or
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just
no, I
giving you a
appreciate it
toss up,
because
Max.
he's,
I didn't want to
in
take all
my
the good
opinion, the
options.
best wide receiver in this draft, the best corner in this draft. He'd probably be the best safety in this draft. If he wanted to throw the ball, he'd probably be the best quarterback in this draft.
I was going to
Yeah.
Do
ask
you
that,
guys
but
think he'll play
so
both ways?
here's my take on
Not
it.
full time, but
Here's
yeah.
my
You
take
do?
on it. I think I agree with Max. I think he does. I think he does play both ways, but I think he does it how Dion did it when he was in the NFL. Play majority on defense and have like packages that he comes in on offense. And I don't know how great the competition is, against Colorado. So you know, I mean, they didn't play like Alabama or anything like that, right? Or
Mm-mm.
no, like top end uh, programs.
I think they played. I know they played against the SEC, but it wasn't like Bama or Georgia.
Yeah, because personally,
They
if he
played.
was lining up against those guys, multiple times a year in college, at least against them, he'd look middle of the road, in my personal opinion. But I think that he has probably a couple packages on offense, and the majority of his snaps will come on defense.
Yeah, I see it the opposite. I think he's just too impactful. Like I want him to have if he's on the Patriots, I want him to have the ball as much as possible. And then like if it's obviously a passing situation, then you put him on defense because he's going to catch the ball if it's anywhere near him. But he's athletically the kind of wide receiver that they touch the ball 50-50, it's a touchdown because he just can't get touched.
I also could see him skew into offense because
Mm-hmm.
look at the contracts going out there recently. They're making so much freaking money as wide
Mhm.
receivers. Like everybody makes a lot of money in the NFL, right? But what receivers are getting
Oh
compared to
yeah. Mhm.
DBs, it's a different world. And if he believes he can be a top five player at both positions, he probably enjoys playing both of them. Go to the one that you can get paid 50% more is kind of a no brainer if you're going to focus it
Yeah,
on
I mean,
one,
and
assuming
and
you're
from what
elite at
I've
both.
seen, Hunter is elite at both. I'm just basing it off of the fact that how likely it is a team that you're going to risk, probably a top or probably a top 3 or at least a top 5 pick on to have to be playing 100% of the snaps on offense and defense when college is gruesome, but the NFL is 10 times as gruesome. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my take on it. I do hope that I get to see him on offense. I just don't know if I want to see him, you know, one through fourth down on offense also, and then immediately go to one through fourth down on defense. So, um, but we'll see. I'm very excited to see what he transitions into as a player in the NFL because he's a great college player, but sometimes a great college player doesn't translate to uh, to the NFL. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that'll happen with him. I do think that he will be successful as long as he goes to a team that is willing to let him be successful because some coaches they draft a player high and then they use them wrong. There's always some sort of wrinkle that happens with highly drafted players that do the wrong things. So, um, and then so and then so we the next topic that we're going to talk about is our overall view of this draft class, and we kind of picked at it a little bit in the last topic, but I mean, we didn't go in depth into it. My overall view of this draft class is a lot of the best picks will come in the second or third round because that's the best value for this draft. After Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, and Travis Hunter, the first round is really a crapshoot, and it will come down to the rest of the 29 teams' preferences. It's really nice that the Bears have three picks on day two with 39, 41, and 72. But I also read that they might be willing to trade up from 39 for a defensive tackle. I don't know, how, I don't know what you have to give up for that. But we'll see in 2 weeks. Maybe they try to swing something. A couple days before the draft, and it doesn't get announced till the draft. But maybe something happens that we trade up for a defensive player and take a offensive player at 10. So what are your guys' thoughts? I'll start with Daniel, and then I'll go to you, Max.
I'm excited that it's not such a QB heavy class. I'm tired of the drafts where half the first round, is 6 of the first 20 picks are quarterbacks. Like, come on, they're not all going to pan out. They're just such difference makers to a team. So like, it makes sense they go early, but I'm tired of somebody like Abdul Carter going sixth because 5 quarterbacks go ahead of them. When you're like, they're probably fourth round talents. They just happen to be a quarterback. So that's something that really intrigues me, and I totally agree. I was looking through kind of what I think picks should be, and we'll get into it when we get to the mock drafts. But there's some intriguing options in the second, third round, or at least
Mm-hmm.
where I think people will
Max,
fall in
what
the
are your
second or
thoughts?
third round.
Yeah, really similar. I'm excited. The D line class is crazy, like top to bottom. I think there will be seventh round defensive linemen that are in a normal year like a fourth round pick. So I'm really excited about that. And I think not having the elite quarterback or the elite wide receiver class is going to help because this is the best class of tight ends and running backs I've seen in a long time. Like I'm ignoring Brock Bowers because his class was the best for only Brock Bowers. But this one actually has top to bottom really good players, and I feel like tight ends and running backs they need some love. It's been a while
Sure,
since they
sure.
really got picked where they deserve to be picked.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I agree with you guys. I mean, the first three picks will most likely be uh, Cam Ward, uh, Abdul Carter, and Travis Hunter. I am, I am, I'm just gonna say it. Cam Ward probably isn't worth the first overall draft pick, but the Titans just have a huge problem at quarterback, and I take Cam Ward over Shadur Sanders, uh, but like I mean after 3, 4 is really where the draft starts because the first 3 picks should be those 3 guys in my personal opinion. I mean Cam Ward should go first. I think it should be Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, and Travis Hunter. But if the Browns for some reason want Travis Hunter, you could flip Hunter and Abdul Carter. Now, personally, I wouldn't do that. I think having a combination of Myles Garrett and Carter would be a pretty dangerous combo. But that's I'm not a GM. Although I think I'd make a good one.
Agreed.
But but so and then so the next topic we're going to talk about is like a late round player that we all really like. I mean, I'm going to assume that all of ours are different, but one that I really like is Kyle Williams from Washington State. Williams had a total of 3,608 receiving yards with 25 receiving touchdowns. In my personal opinion, I think Williams could be the Bears version of Amon-Ra St. Brown. I would give him a look at in the 5th round if he was available and just take him. But Ben Johnson seems to use all of his weapons that he had on the Lions. So if he takes any receiver throughout the draft, I'll trust him. I trust him. I trust Ben Johnson more than I trust anyone Eberflus would draft. So, but that's my late round diamond in the rough. What about you, Max? Do you have a player that you really like for a late round draft pick or?
I do. I do. So I like Williams on the Bears because I think he's perfect to start as a number 3. And the Bears have 2 good receivers. So I'm excited if that happened. But overall, mine is Ollie Gordon, who I'm assuming you guys know from the year before when he had like 1,700
He
yards and he
went.
was the best running back in the world.
He's the running back for Oklahoma
Oklahoma
State.
State.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
haven't watched him, but I know the name. I know the name.
Yeah. Well, he was crazy, like insanely good. Number 1 running back projected at the beginning of the season, and he had a down year because there were 9 players going after him every snap because there was no other player on the offense. Um, but he still had like a good year. It just wasn't as good. So I think he's probably going to drop to like the 6th round, and he's in a normal year like a second or third round running back. So I think he'll be a steal, and he's huge. This is a really small running back class. He's like the only big one in the whole class.
So when you mean small, this you mean height. You don't mean because
Yeah, like
this is
short. I mean, like Jonty's beefy, but he's like a little looking guy.
yeah
Ollie Gordon looks big.
this is a deep running back class, but Gordon's one of the smallest, is what you're saying.
Well, Gordon's like the tallest. He's the most like Derrick Henry esque
Oh,
looking,
okay,
like just physically looking like a large human. He looks like a large human.
gotcha. Daniel, do I don't know if you brush up on the late round draft picks, but you got any?
Yeah, I don't know. So my pick, I'm not. You might tell me he's not going to be a late round pick, but I'm going to stick with the running back and Cam Scatterbo. He's
Scatterboo,
just a baller.
I've
I
seen go
like
in like
football players, and
the
he's a baller.
third.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, third, fourth.
Okay, I was thinking he
Yeah, I
might be
mean,
like fourth, fifth, which is late enough
honestly,
for me.
I
But
mean,
okay,
that's,
well
I
that
mean,
was going to be my guy. Maybe he's not.
this topic was a diamond in the rough. It wasn't necessarily a late round draft pick. I just tried to think of like because
Mhm.
the reason that teams have top 30 visits is to have people that are like people that they like, but also like late round draft picks in to your building, so you get to know them a little bit better, because you don't really get to know late round draft picks in pre-draft meetings and all that stuff. So that's what pre top 30 visits are most likely for. And I mean, but I like your pick. I like Cam Scatterboo as well. And honestly, he's one running back that I would look at for the Bears, because uh, when the Bears or not when the Lions had um, Montgomery and Montgomery ran a 4.63 40, and uh, Scadaboo ran a 4.65, so that's not much of a difference. But also we'll see how Ben Johnson wants to fix his running back room, because I do expect them to take a running back eventually. I don't know if it's going to be Genty or Scadaboo or one of the guys from Ohio State. I hope it's one of the top four. That's all I'm saying.
I've got
All
one,
right.
but I'm not going to spoil it before we
And
get to the
then
mock draft.
Matt, or no, wait, no, I asked both of you. Jesus.
Yeah, we've all gone.
Um. Okay. Let's see. So now we're going to talk about just the fact that both our respective teams drafted our quarterbacks, so we don't have to worry about that anymore right now, at least. But we're going to talk about the QB class for 2025. Unlike last year, there isn't that obvious number one pick quarterback, even though the Titans will most likely be taking Cam Ward with the number one draft pick. Hang on, sorry. Could you come back? Thanks. You know, the other quarterbacks that will probably be drafted high is Shedeur Sanders. But for me, my problem with Sanders is he comes with a lot of baggage or or drama, not baggage. But the drama that he comes with is his father. Now, let me be clear. I love Deion Sanders as a player, but he stirs up a lot of drama, and I don't know if NFL teams in the top 10 will want to deal with that drama. However, I read yesterday that Derek Carr is dealing with a shoulder injury, and it might bleed into the regular season. So the Saints might take Sanders to have a starting caliber quarterback at number 9. But that's my thoughts on the QB class for this. There's other quarterbacks that are going to be drafted later, but I I haven't read much into them. So Max, what are your thoughts on the QB class? And then Daniel, I'll ask you the same question.
Yeah, I don't like any of them. I'm really thrilled that we have Drake May and y'all have Caleb Williams. I don't like any of the quarterbacks in this class really. I also didn't like Bo Nix last year, so I've been wrong recently. But I just don't like my favorite one's like up high is probably Sanders, but he's a pocket passer, and I don't enjoy pocket passers. Um, so like I'm not a fan. I like Milrow as
Out of
a backup that just comes in to run sometimes.
out of
Um,
Alabama.
yeah,
Kind of
like he's
kind of
fun to
like
watch run.
kind of like when Lamar Jackson first came into the league.
Hmm.
When the Ravens had Joe Flacco still.
Yeah, something like that. Like if he came in to back up some aging quarterback while he learns how to get his arm mechanics right, he could be a fun package player. Like
He
accuracy
throws the
though.
ball as hard
Yeah,
and
if he
far.
could get the ball on point every
His
time,
arm strength is
he could be
crazy.
really special.
All right,
Hmm.
Daniel, what are your thoughts on the QB class?
I agree. I mean, like I said earlier, I'm glad it's a down year because it's not going to be the draft of quarterbacks, which is nice. But there's nobody I would want to go with an early round pick on. Like, sure, Cam Ward has talent; he could end up being great. Shador Sanders too, but I think there's some can't miss prospects at other positions that I wouldn't want to use a top 10 pick, even though the quarterback position's so strong or so important. One guy that I do like that I think will be late, he doesn't fit what an NFL quarterback is supposed to be, but like a lot of the people I've talked about, he's just a baller. He's a quarterback. He throws the ball good. He knows how to make plays, and it's Dylan Gabriel. He's done it all over, I think, three different
Where
schools,
does
and
he
he's been a baller at all of them. I don't know if it'll work in the NFL, but if I was using like a third, fourth round pick and he's there and I might need a
where
quarterback,
did
I'm
he
throwing
go
out a dart on it.
most recently?
He started Oregon.
Oklahoma,
He was
yeah,
UCF
and then Florida
and then
State.
Oklahoma, I think.
Didn't he go to like four schools?
I don't remember if he was Florida
Yeah,
State, but he transferred a
He's
decent
cool
bit.
though. He's like he might be
He
available in
might
the
have been
seventh.
Florida
He'd
State.
be
That
a really
doesn't
fun
ring a bell.
seventh round pick.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you get into the seventh round where the chances your guy sticks is so low, do it to the dude that lights up the stat
well,
sheet at quarterback.
for
Like
me,
that's not easy to
I
do no
have a
matter where you are.
philosophy with the draft. My philosophy with the draft is the 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 picks that you make rounds 1 through 4 are starters and contributors, like on well most of the time. And then when you get to rounds 5 and through 7, you're just taking best player available or a position of need because you don't really do a lot of research on late round draft picks. I mean, majority of the time when a fifth or sixth or seventh round draft pick is announced, literally 20 seconds later, the next one's announced. So they're just taking the best player available or a position that they need to fill. It's not necessarily the best player that they want, but they just do that. So I mean that's my philosophy on the draft, but everyone has a different philosophy. Um, so now we're gonna end this off on 2 different mock drafts. We're gonna do it where we'll do one for the Bears and one for the Patriots. And since me and my co-host Jack have always done a lot of the Bears ones, I'm gonna actually start with the Patriots first. So I'm gonna actually rely on you, Max, to help me out with this because I mean, oh, actually, I have to restart this because I didn't. I chose the Bears first, but that's fine. I can restart it and just pick the Patriots first. All right, so I'm gonna slow this down a little bit so it's not gonna be like going super fast, but I'll make it go fast, but like I won't make it go super fast. And I gotta share my screen first before I start this. Let me do that right now. All right. So hopefully you guys can see that. You guys can see that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see how
Yep.
this goes. So Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, and Abdul Carter went 1, 2, and 3, which should be how it goes. But what would you do here, Max? I mean, and I'll ask you as well, Daniel. But you said that you rely on more Max than
So I'm a
He is our
for this
resident
scenario,
Patriot
I'm not trying to
expert.
do trades because in
Right.
real life I'd try to trade back probably, but I would say you have to get Will Campbell there. Carter and Hunter are the only two I would pick over Will Campbell.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll take Will Campbell for you.
And now we have a left tackle, which is all we really, really need.
So what would you do here? You want me to look back to see like what players went before
I mean,
you?
you
Or
could probably filter positions. I feel like wide receiver would be a good second round choice.
I can agree with that. But
Oh,
is there like a guy that stands out to you here?
yeah, definitely Jaden Higgins.
All right, well I'll take him then.
Yeah. I don't think he'll be there. I think he's going low 30s, but I like him a lot.
What position you want me to filter now?
Um, let's do tight end first,
All right.
and then if we don't like him, we can do linebackers. Oh, we like him. I would take Mason Taylor.
You know, it's funny. I didn't know that Mason Taylor was the son of Jason Taylor
Yeah,
until a couple of days ago. But that is cool. I would take Mason Taylor to here too, to be honest. So if you
yeah.
want me
These the football children usually succeed, so it's always a safe bet.
yeah, you want me to take Jason Taylor or Mason
Yeah,
Taylor?
definitely.
All right, all right. So,
Okay.
well,
Okay. Now, I think we should check running back
okay.
in case one of the fun ones is there.
Yeah, I don't know
No.
anything about these guys. I mean, you'd probably, I mean, once Scadaboo's gone, you're probably, you're just, you're looking at, middle of the road running backs after that.
Yeah, yeah. I'll probably go running back later. Um, I say linebacker. We just got rid of Bentley. I feel like that's gonna be a gap.
All right.
Oh, well, see, so the Patriots don't really pick people when they're supposed to be picked.
Right.
So I think we should get Jeffrey Bassa
All right.
like a round early.
All right.
'Cause I like him.
I mean, in my personal preference, I will say this. I do think that Mike Vrabel will be a better drafter than the later years of Bill Belichick, because I mean the last few years that Bill Belichick was the leader of the Patriots, he took a lot of people very early that made no sense. What position do you
hmm
want me to filter now?
Um,
Oh my God, Isaiah Bond or not to the Browns after what just happened would be so funny, because he because I mean, uh, what Deshaun Watson had legal troubles, and now Isaiah Bond's having legal troubles.
yeah, they're getting a whole crew together. Um, let's check center. There's two centers I like a lot in the mid rounds.
It's kind of weird, like you can't put center. It's
Yeah,
interior O linemen, but who are they?
the Jared Wilson.
Here, I
Um,
can look them up. I I would assume
Good
that
pick.
that he's probably gone.
okay,
I did see his name pop up on the left. I think it was
yeah.
What
And then
like
like
the
something
50s,
Kendall.
honestly. It was
It ends
some
like his
a little
last name
while
is
ago.
Kendall. Kendall.
Drew
Him.
Kendall?
Yeah, Drew Kendall. We're gonna go early with Drew Kendall.
You're gonna get like an I'm gonna get like an F for that, but okay.
It's okay. We want him. We need a center. I don't like. I mean, we added a center, but he's old. I feel like I got too much power. Uh, let's go back to running back because we still haven't gotten a running back.
All right, let's see. Anyone worth taking?
Yup, that one.
This one?
Yep, Trevor Etienne.
I'm pretty sure Daniel will like that.
You always got to take the Georgia guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. RBU.
Okay, and let's go. Let's go kicker. I'm hoping Sauls is there.
You want a kicker? Well, I mean, it is.
We don't have a
Wow,
kicker. We
so
need a kicker. And Sauls, the pit kicker, he can kick outdoors. No one else can. Yeah, Ben Sauls. Better
I,
call Saul. Hmm. So now we're going to be in the 7th round.
yeah, just and I mean honestly, when I get to like here when I'm doing the Bears, I just pick like names that I know, but you know, you might actually still want someone. So you want me
There's
to
only one person left that I want. But I think he already got picked.
what's
But
it?
we can search it. It's Oots, Ouzts. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not there.
Uh,
He's the Alabama fullback because we need a fullback if we have Josh McDaniels.
wait a minute. You can get fullback in these? I
Well,
didn't.
it's probably listed as a running back, but he is a fullback.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
So let's just look at the top players. Maybe somebody fell that we like.
I mean, do you need a safety? Because
Yeah,
there's
but
a
not those
couple.
ones. I don't do Clemson or Ohio State.
Why?
Not a fan. Oh, Ty Robinson. We'll do that. We need some more beef in the middle. We got a bunch of small guys now.
All right.
I mean, I like Milton Williams. He's just small, and then Barmore's also small. Um,
So you got one pick left.
let's get a wide receiver for sure,
Oh,
because it'll just be some
you want
practice
me to
squad
go?
guy.
You want me to go to? Here, I'll filter the wide receiver for you. I mean, there's.
Oh, I don't even know that guy.
I
Is
don't.
that the only one? Is Canada?
No. I'm sorry. I'm just not scrolling down.
No, you're good. Ooh, Badger. Elijah Badger.
Honestly, that honestly is such a badass name that just sounds cool.
Yeah, well, he was DJ Lagway, like the best freshman quarterback last year. He was his go-to deep threat, and Drake May's got an arm.
So
He needs a deep threat.
let's see how this actually went for you. I mean,
They'll probably give me an F.
Will
I don't listen to the board at all.
Will Campbell and Jaden Higgins definitely make a ton of sense, and I agree with both of the grades that they gave you, but I don't know if Higgins will be available. Mason Taylor, I mean, I don't I don't really listen to the draft grades a lot, um, but I mean, 9 picks early. I don't think that's a C minus. I think that's like a B. That's fine.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree.
but and then you said that the Patriots are well known for taking players early. I mean, if there's anyone that you took way too early, it was the center.
Just so y'all know, the Patriots have visited Drew Kendall like 3 times and had him in for a visit. Like he's the center we want. I'm pretty sure.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and we're gonna pick him earlier than we're supposed to.
I don't know anything about the linebacker. I know that Trevor Etienne is the brother of Travis.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they played together at Georgia, right? Or was Trevor a couple years younger than that? No,
Travis went somewhere else.
Trevor.
Yeah, Travis went to Clemson. Trevor Etienne was Florida, and then he transferred to
But honestly,
Georgia
that
just
probably
for this year.
helped his draft stock. So
Yeah. Well, he fell because he was hurt on and off for the whole year. Like he's actually a really good running back, but he just didn't get to show it.
So I mean, in all fairness, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 5 good grades out of what 9?
Yeah, we have 9 picks. I'll take that. Well, and they're always going to give an F to a
They're
kicker.
gonna give an
We
F.
need a kicker.
They're gonna give an F to a player that's rated 300 when you take him at 106, and they never give good grades for kickers. So I mean, it's when you get to that. Well, not when you get to the 4th, but when you get to the 5th, you're just taking people that you want. So you got a B minus. I mean, it's not great that this is the bottom 25% of Patriots drafts, but
That's just because everyone picks the highest rated player. I actually wanted Patriots players. Like, you get a good grade if you just click the best player available every time. I don't like doing that, though.
all right, so I'm gonna do this again, and I'm gonna do it where it's the Bears, and hopefully you guys can help me out with this because I mean I've done it where I've just kept looking at positions of need or best player, but I want your guys' help. So all right, and I'm not gonna. I've done a couple of ones where I try to trade, but I'm not gonna look at trades at all just because I don't know how I don't know what a good trade is. So here, I mean this does not make any sense. Why is this guy that's ranked number 3 dropping? I don't get why he is like yeah.
Will you show me
So
who got picked earlier, if you don't mind?
We took Genty. That's
Cam
fine.
Ward, Travis Hunter, Shadur Sanders, Ashton Genty, Mason Graham, Will Campbell, Abdul Carter. There is no way in tarnation that Abdul Carter makes it to 7. If he makes it to 7, he has a Laramie Tunsil draft night debacle.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way that he makes.
Mm-hmm.
I
Or
mean,
Jalen
I
Carter.
mean,
I know who I'm
who would
picking
you
here. I'm
take?
curious who you guys think.
Yeah, he was on the list of
Jalen
our
Walker.
favorite players. He was my 4th one, but I don't think I ever said it.
Well,
So I'd pick him too. I'm a big fan.
where is he ranked? I've never taken him. What's how? I'm not.
He's not actually. I feel like these ratings haven't been updated because Ted McMillan is going to be like near 20. Jalen Walker's probably top 10. Yeah,
Everything I see
he
has
should be top
Jalen
10.
Walker in the top 10. What I've seen is that I thought, the Panthers have 8. If he makes it to 8, the Panthers are taking him, is kind of what I've seen. So I didn't expect him to get to the Bears, so he wasn't on my list. But if he's
See the
there,
guy that I've always
the guy's a
looked
game
at when
changer.
it comes to edge rushers is actually I've looked at Mike Green a lot. I like Mike Green, but I mean
He's got some character issues, supposedly.
he
I've
goes to
never even
Mark.
heard
Not
of
that
him.
matters for this situation.
Marshall. Yeah. Shout out Randy
I don't
Moss.
know what to do. I don't know what to do. I mean, man.
I mean, I don't hate the Mike Green pick if you like him.
Well,
He's a really good player.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
just
just
gonna
messing
do.
with you.
I'm gonna do that. I'd rather take someone that at least looks like he's ranked high than take a. Because I mean, I don't know. Like I understand that Walker went to Georgia and Georgia.
Walker's better than Mike Green, hands down.
Well,
But
like
if you want Mike Green on the Bears, like you're a Bears fan, you would know.
well, like when you say better, do you mean like in terms of stats or like what do you mean?
Like his pass rush grade, that was like his main thing. That 83.6. Like he was one of the better pass rushers I saw all year.
And like one thing that like Georgia players don't get stats. Like the D linemen just they rotate too much. You don't get a lot of sacks. It's all pressure and put quarterbacks in bad situations. So their stats are never awesome. And then you got Trayvon Walker does the number 1 pick overall. And then Jalen Carter should have been top 4, but he likes to drive a little too fast. And then he was clearly a top 4 pick that dropped to 10. But he didn't have crazy stats either. If you looked purely at stats, you'd be like, Jalen Carter's not even that good.
I'll trust you guys. I mean, you guys are definitely more brushed up on college ball than me. So.
Well, you'd like if the Bears actually do that, you'll be thrilled.
So I mean, I want to look at running back here, but like, see,
Ooh, Scatterbo.
Here's my problem. Like.
Keep going down. I just want to see who else is left.
Henderson?
You like Junkins? You like
There's
Junkins?
my guy. Of Quinshawn Judkins.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
Yeah.
the running back position that when we hopefully take one, it comes down to Scatterboo or one of the guys from Ohio State. I don't really care which one because they both, you know, did very well. But I'm just there. Like, if I was going for one of the guys at Ohio State, I would just be worried to wait until 72 for him.
Well, you have another pick at 41.
I know, but that's just one
Yeah.
pick apart.
Yeah.
So like even if I took like here's what I would do. Like I'm gonna look at like the best like all of the best people and
Mhm.
probably just take like best available and actually uh the safety isn't a bad option because Jaquan Brisker is dealing with a lot of concussion problems. And even though he's most likely going to come back healthy, I probably would like to have a contingency plan. So I would probably take a safety here just to um, just to have a backup option. And actually, that's a
What
good
other
idea.
safeties are
I
available?
didn't
Just
think
curious
of that.
who's got.
Oh, Watts is there?
I've actually seen Watts get picked by the Bears a lot. I think I like Watts over Winston, honestly.
He'd be a Bear. Watts is a Bear.
The
Yeah, I
guy from
agree. Who else
Andrew
is there? I just want to see who they got.
Mukupa, which I think he's got a top 30 visit for the Bears or had some form of meeting with them, but he's ranked at 62, so I wouldn't take him. I'd take him. I'd take Watts here personally.
I like Watts also.
Yeah, I like Watts
Um,
too.
Here's where I'm gonna look. I've got one team that's willing to trade with me, and that's down 20. I'm gonna try to get to like 50 with maybe like Seattle. See if I could get like a. I don't know if this is going to be accepted. Well, maybe. Well,
37's not bad. 37%. There's a chance.
pretty low chance, but I'll offer it. Yeah, didn't think so.
Jerks.
You need like a 65% chance for it to be accepted, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
I mean, if I'm just gonna probably pick here, and I'd probably take Scatterboo at my preference because I don't know if I'd be willing to take one of the Ohio State guys, this early. But there's a possibility of at least one of them being available at 72.
I think in real life, they're both going ahead of Scatabo.
Really?
Yeah. Like, that's my assumption. Like, Henderson is supposedly one of the best pass blocking running backs that scouts have seen in a long time, which is a big deal for the people actually drafting. So I think he'll go earlier than people think.
Should I
But I love Scatabo. Like, if you want Scatabo,
should I
I'm on
just
board.
do it, Daniel? What are your thoughts? What should I do?
If it's just me picking, I'm taking Judkins. I think they're all studs. I think pass blocking is as important as anything at running back, so that's a very good point. And I don't know.
All right,
I don't think you go wrong. I think
I'm
they're
gonna
all going to
trust
be
you
good.
guys. I'll take Junkins.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's probably more fun.
Ohio State, running backs tend to do pretty well. So, let me see. I'm gonna look at tight end also because of the fact that we don't have like a serviceable backup. And I kind of want to take Taylor, to be honest with you, but I don't know if I can do that because I already took him for the Patriots.
You can. They didn't take him in this world. This is a new world now.
Okay, I'm gonna do that, and it'd just be cool to get Jason Taylor into the Bears building. That'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to wait for a pretty long time to get to my next pick. And honestly, I'm taking it.
There we go.
I
There's your
don't even
boy.
need to ask you guys I mean looking at his stats yesterday when I was writing stuff up about it, I was just like, man, this kid looks like he could be a huge piece. So, and honestly, here I'm probably just gonna take like some like backup offensive lineman because I mean, have we even taken a
No,
lineman
not yet.
yet? Nope. So I'm probably gonna be taking some backup offensive linemen.
Yeah, I bet Truss is still out there. I don't know what he's ranked in this thing though. Oh, there he is.
What?
Truss, the Georgia guy.
Oh, I actually
I mean, he's good at football. He's a big dude, but
oh,
he's kind of raw.
only 6 sacks. Oh wow, that's not bad. But I mean, we do have apparently one of the best um, offensive line coaches in the NFL now. So I'm gonna trust you. And then for my last one, I'm gonna go back to offensive tack. Or wait, is he a guard? No, I think he's a guard actually. There's another guy that I I think he might have been taken.
Drew Kendall's there.
I don't need a center. I don't need a center.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Who was that? Who was that? Oh, see, Joshua Gray was the guy I was thinking about because our assistant offensive line coach coached him last year. So
Mm.
I've always taken him at 233, and then just taken another offensive lineman somewhere else. I don't know anything about the North Carolina State guy or the Jackson.
Yeah, I don't know any of these people.
Oh, he was.
Jay Webb was at
Why would
Georgia
he
at one point.
transfer to Jackson State?
Yeah. He wasn't panning out as well, so he didn't get any playing
Oh,
time.
that's
He was like
good.
a
All right, I'll
five-star
give him a
coming out of high
shot.
school. She was
Probably y'all
great.
didn't take a kicker in a
Hopefully better than the
second.
Patriots.
Well, I got an F for my first round draft pick, which you didn't get because you made me take Will Campbell.
He would not be an F. Nobody would give an F to the Bears in real. Like, he's really good.
Damn it! You got a B minus, and I got a B. I got a C plus. Well,
We're doing great.
Hey, your one pick
one
was an A
person
Yeah.
I
plus, or
wanted
not
was
your
an A
one pick, but
plus.
the one you wanted to do the most.
Oh yeah, 100%. Some of
Max
these
will
bad
take the
grades were
blame.
my idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Judkins was Daniel, all Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, yeah, I mean, we'll see how
Ball
we'll
don't
see
lie.
how
We'll
it
see you
goes,
next year.
and I mean, I thank you guys for coming on today, and I can't wait to see you guys, both you guys in person in about a month, for our vacation and your wedding party, and I'm super excited for that. But thanks for coming on, boys, and I'm gonna talk to my co-host, later on today and see if he wants to do a podcast, just me and him on Monday because we usually do our podcast on Monday, but since I talked about a lot of stuff today, I don't know if I'll have a lot of stuff to talk about on Monday, so I'm gonna clear that. I'm gonna clear that up with him later on, and that's meant for the viewers, not you guys. I hope you guys understand that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and thanks again, guys, for coming on, and and we'll talk again soon.